Welcome to a video where I'm going to teach you how to knock 10 shots off of your golf. I managed to do it in a month, and I'm now going to pass all of the knowledge and tips that I learned on to you. It's not going to be as simple as practice your putting. Make sure you get your yardages with GPS. We're going to go more specific. We're going to talk about the psychology of learning. We're going to talk about sports psychology of golf, the data that the pros use, techniques you guys can use, and I will show you a couple of my favorite putting drills. And the GPS thing that I use and show the stats from is called ARCOS, although you guys are always asking that, but we're going to go much deeper and much more specific. I'm assuming you guys are at my level of golf, or maybe where I was 6 weeks ago, and you're here to get really good. So we're going to go specific and we're going to jump straight into it. I've just teed off on the first hole and I have got exactly with a Bushnell 113 yards to the flag. What that means is I'm slightly between clubs, but that also makes it the perfect opportunity to talk about creating a positive feedback loop from your golf. I actually got this tip from Seb on Golf, so shout out to Seb. He talked to me about playing the club that hits the back of the green. And there's a very good reason for this. Let's say, for example, I had 130 yards to the flag. That for me is a pitching wedge. If I had 145 to the back of the green, a 9-iron, I should play the 9. And the reason for that is you set yourself up for a win-win situation. If you absolutely stripe your pitching wedge, yes, you're going to be right next to the flag. But if you don't hit it so good, you're going to come up short. And that's not very good. Whereas if you play the 9 and you hit it well, you'll be at the back of the green, maybe a little bit off the back, and you can say to yourself, I've just hit a cracking shot, that's a win. If you don't hit it so good, and maybe you lose 10 or 15 yards, you're on the green, which is a win. And you've also had a positive outcome. So no matter what happens, you're setting your mindset up to be positive. So always get your numbers. Don't just zap the flag, zap the front, zap the back, use your watch, use your phone for GPS, whatever it may be, and pick the number that's going to put you towards the back of the green, and then play that, and you'll find yourself with a lot more GIRs. Let's do it. So that for me now is a pitching wedge. It's 130 to the back. So again, it's a nice smooth pitch, and we'll be towards the back of the green. Or if we don't catch it so good, we'll be next to the flag. There it goes. Caught it pretty good. And we're on the green. Good course management. Look at that. It's cold. We've got the trousers on because it's getting on towards winter golf. The ground's a bit wet because it's been raining. We've picked the number for the back of the green. We've hit it pretty good, but not absolutely perfectly. And we've come up 6 foot short of the flag. Absolutely perfect. Now, you guys are actually really kind about my putting, and I've mentioned this in other videos as well. And you guys have put some confidence in me. I will show you my 2 favorite putting drills at the end that can really help you. But while we're out on the course, the only thing I'd say about putting is use the bloody line on your ball. The amount of people who I see don't do that is ridiculous. That's too simple. Let me try and knock this in for a birdie to get us started. And we'll move on to tip number 2. I've just had the most perfect start to a round of golf. We've just birdied the first hole, but that doesn't always happen. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's the first time I've ever birdied the first hole of my course. When things don't go well, it's very tempting to try and change your swing mid-round. And as we walk down this next hole, I'm going to tell you a little bit of an anecdote about Jack Nicklaus. It's another good shot. It's straight at it. Oh, it's just off the front. I should have listened to my own advice. Should have clubbed up and played the back of the green. Although that was actually clubbed up to go past the flag. It just wasn't a very good shot. So I got this story from Bob Rotella from Golf is Not a Game of Perfect. You should 100% read that book if you're a golfer and you haven't read it already. The story goes that Jack Nicklaus goes to an event, and this is Jack Nicklaus, by the way, the first or second best golfer of all time, depending on who you ask. He hits a driver off the tee, he sticks it out of bounds, and he puts his driver in his bag and doesn't take it out again for the rest of that round. Once he's finished, between that one and the next one of the competition, he goes to the driving range and he hits hundreds of balls in order to dial his driver back in. But for them other 17 holes, he never touched his driver once. Now, what is the moral of the story for me and for you guys? Do not tweak your swing in the middle of a round. If the greatest or second greatest golfer of all time can't adjust to stop spooning his driver out of bounds, you can't. I can't. None of us can. Swing the swing that you have on the day and just be at peace with it and aim for the miss. Do not try and adjust on the course. The driving range is for practicing and changing. The course is for playing. and you'll get so much better by just letting your swing happen. So what does that actually mean in practice? It means not trying to think about and trying to action the things that you learned on your last lesson. If it's not already ingrained in your body, in your muscle memory from the driving range, it ain't happening on the course by thinking about it. It means not thinking about your last shot and your last miss and trying to adjust your swing in order to fix what you think might happen. Just swing your swing. Have one swing thought, maybe two if you're absolutely desperate, and then just focus on the target, down the fairway, on the green, the tree in the back that you're aiming at, whatever it may be. And swing the swing you've got on the day, not the one you think that you need to now tweak to because of what happened on the last shot. Let's chip this on. Not bad. And by not bad, I mean, I'm absolutely buzzing inside. Good chip, Andy. I guess we can also, whilst we're doing this, go through some incredibly generic ones for people who might be new to golf and have come across my channel or come from Ultimate Team. Clean your ball. It actually makes so much difference to how it rolls when you're putting and how it flies through the air when you're hitting it normally. One under through two. Let's move on to the third. I think we can all agree I'm not an expert at golf, but that's also why it's quite interesting for you guys to learn from my experiences, because yes, we can all watch professional golfers say, just hit a 7-iron in play off the tee, and then they pipe it 185 yards with a perfect draw, and you just roll your eyes at them and think, yeah, brilliant, golf's easy when you can do that. So, you know, I'm passing on knowledge from a normal person to a normal person. We're all trying to get better together. But somewhere where I have got a little bit of expertise, at least, is psychology. I've got a degree in psychology, for those of you who don't know me. And I was very interested in sports psychology and the psychology of learning. And there is an old adage that goes, practice makes perfect. Everyone's said that before, everyone's heard that before. It's wrong. Practice does not make perfect. Practice makes permanent. So a very, very important part of learning is a feedback loop. And I feel like this is something people neglect so much with golf. They just go to the driving range and just hit balls. You have to have that conscious feedback loop. You have to film yourself, because feel versus real in golf is incredibly different. You might feel like you're taking the club back as shallow as possible and coming all the way around yourself, and you'll film it and your hands will be out here. So make sure you actually film it. Put a phone down behind you at the driving range, put a phone down behind you at the course, and create that loop where you could then look at it and say, okay, what am I doing different? And what do I need to change in order to improve? And this is where lessons come in. And everyone's scared of getting golf lessons because it's going to change your swing or it's going to throw you off for a little bit. You have to be willing to get that feedback, adjust to the feedback, and grind to practice, because that's how learning happens. You need to drill the drills that your coach gives you, because the practice makes permanent. And then, as we've just talked about in the previous tip, you can trust your swing because you've drilled it and you don't need to adjust it on the course. You've done it on the range. Feedback loop. Don't just practice. Practice makes permanent. Perfect practice makes perfect. Cut back for me. It's cutting back for me. We should just be in the trees, just next to the bunker. Lovely. Whilst we're walking down this hole, this is a very long par 5 as well, so we can talk a little bit about, again, sports psychology and having realistic expectations. We've already talked about setting yourself up for a positive outcome, because positivity breeds better golf. We need realistic expectations to not get annoyed at ourselves as we are playing as well. The average green and regulation percentage for someone who's a 10 handicap is about 40%, according to Arcos, from 125 to 150 yards out. So if you are standing 150 yards from the green, there's a less than 50% chance that you're going to hit the green. And that goes for tour pros as well. So you need to recalibrate, we're going to say, your expectations. If you're somebody who gets annoyed that you haven't hit the green, think about it as an opportunity to make a good chip shot and rescue a par, and don't start fuming because you've missed a green, because even Scotty Scheffler misses greens. I think this is also a good opportunity to talk about something a little bit more generic, but that maybe you don't see YouTube golfers talk about: course management. I've just hit a driver off this tee. Was that the sensible play? Maybe not. I can get this green in 2 on a cold evening with a bit of wind interface. Probably not. I should have hit a 5-iron, a 4-iron when I get my new clubs, a 3-iron. Just lay up, and I'm now just going to bump this down the fairway into a nice layup distance for me to play a nice approach shot. Now that's all pretty generic. Something very interesting that Neil drilled into me in my coaching is that I want to knock this ball about 120 yards down the fairway. And for me, to go between 100 and 120 would be a gap wedge or a pitching wedge. And I can stand here and I can set up to the ball and I can get ready to absolutely leather it with a full swing all the way down there. Or I can just get a 7-iron and play a chip shot and it'll go about 110 yards. I was very much in the mindset that I'm coming to golf to play good shots. Love being good at golf. I'm gonna whack this. You're playing 18 holes and you need to contextualize the whole round together and play consistent golf through the round. You're not here to play one good shot. You're here to hit a good score. There we go. We're down the middle of the fairway and there was almost zero chance of that going wrong. And if it did go wrong, it'd be 10 yards in front of me to have another go, as opposed to out of bounds or through them trees. Again, this is a very good course management opportunity to talk about something. We're going to talk about shot dispersion, and that's very data driven, and I'll show you guys about that properly. But we can apply it a little bit now. The flag's tucked behind the 2 bunkers. I could aim at that flag, and to be honest with you, it's 100 yards. Realistically, at my level of golf, 100 yards in, you should be attacking the flags. But sensibly, we can aim middle of the green, and my miss is usually right. So we're either going to be in the middle of the green or we're going to miss and go closer to the flag. So that's kind of playing your shot dispersion. That's something to think about. Obviously, if your guys misses left, aim at the flag. And if you miss left, you'll be in the middle of the green. We're going to talk about that a little bit later. But course management, get to a nice number, got 100 yards and aim at the middle of the green and you'll be scoring a lot better. Jeez, Bryson. Cream that over the back. Like I said, play the back. It's the sensible thing to do. We could now say, oh, I've missed the green. Great shot, Andy. I absolutely pured that perfectly. And we've gone 5 yards over the back of the green. Let's chip on and get a par. It's good golf. Now, we could talk about a lot more stuff. Pre-shot routine, what you should be doing. I feel like that's all a bit too generic. But let me know if you'd like to see a video of that. Go on then, keep going, keep going. Very good chip, very good. I mean, I guess this is the part where I say that incredibly cliched tip, practice your short game. But as you can tell, I have been practicing my short game and it does make a very big difference, but we all know that. You don't need me to tell you that. One under through 3, we move. Up next, we are going to talk about shot dispersion. And my sensei, golf sidekick, talks about this a lot, and that man is a gold mine for tips of wanting to break 190, 80, whatever your goal on golf might be. Go and check him out. What a man. We've got a drone up in the sky. So let's jump over to the drone, and I'm going to talk to you guys about shot dispersion. And this is something the pros do as well, but normal golfers don't seem to, and you absolutely should be doing it. If we take a look down this hole, we can aim straight down the middle of the fairway. We've got bunkers on the right and water on the left. I know my shot dispersion, if we draw it on the footage, is sometimes it will go exactly where I'm aiming. Occasionally it will go a little bit left, and quite a bit of the time it will go quite a lot right. So if we draw that sort of wedge of where my shots are going to go onto the fairway, we can see by aiming down the middle, there's a chance I'm going to go out of bounds and there's a chance I'm going to go into the bunker. So we're going to know our dispersion pattern, and we're going to move where we aim so our whole cone of potential shots is in safety. So what I'm going to do is aim just to the right of the life ring, because if I pipe it perfectly, I'll be just on the left side of the fairway. If I pull it left a little bit, I'll be just off the fairway on the left. And if I miss it terribly right, I won't go out of bounds. And realistically, I'm going to take good or quite good. I'll be middle of the fairway or left side of the fairway. That is playing your dispersion patterns, and that is something the pros do. But for some reason, regular golfers completely avoid it. Think Rory McIlroy hitting a drive. If there's water down the left, he's not aiming down the middle of the fairway. He's aiming right edge of the fairway because McIlroy's miss is left. So he either pipes it perfectly and he goes right edge of the fairway, or he pulls it left a bit and he's in the middle of the fairway. He doesn't want that chance to drop a shot. So aim your dispersion pattern to optimize where the ball is going to finish up most of the time. And lo and behold, we've spoke it into existence and we've missed right. But we're still absolutely perfectly in play. because we aimed for our dispersion pattern. That is actually sports psychology as well. Dr. Bob would talk about that. Speaking something into existence. I don't believe in manifesting in your daily life and like, I'm going to manifest myself a better job. But it does, sports psychology, it is a thing. You need to focus your brain on the right target because your body will instinctively do what you're thinking of. I was thinking, this is going to miss right for the video. What have I done? Missed right. If I'd have focused with all my might on that little dingy thing, I'd have probably striped it down the middle. Dr. Bob, what a man. So as we walk up to this ball and apply our dispersion pattern, I was aimed over there at that red dinghy, just to the right of it, in between that and the red stake. This is my ball on the edge of this bunker. And if I'd have aimed down the middle of the fairway, because that's ideally where I want my ball to end up when you're playing golf, everybody does, I'd be out of bounds. And I'd have just dropped 2 shots for absolutely nothing. As it happens, we have got, not the best of lie, but we can see the flag. We've got a shot onto the green. We could still maybe get a birdie. We can still get a par. We would have been playing if we'd have aimed down the middle of the fairway, 3 off the tee. Everyone's dispersion pattern will be different. You need to know your own. Not everybody has a miss to the right. That's what I have. But know your own dispersion pattern and apply it to where you're aiming for better results. Should I actually be going for this shot? I'm not so sure. But we've done it, and it looks pretty good. I almost fell in the bunker, but the ball has ended up on the green. Beautiful. We're going to finish this video off, like I promised you at the start, with my 2 favourite putting drills. I'll show you them now, but I need to finish this hole off first. Let's see if we can round off with a birdie. Got a very big putt though, about 30 foot, which is going to come into play with this drill shortly. Do you know what? I adjusted the aim of that putt to aim exactly there, thinking it was going to move. Bit a wee bit hard, but not really. You know, we're a few foot past. Could have slam dunked in if I've not changed my aim. Needed to trust myself. There we go. So, let's talk about them 2 putting drills. We'll go with drill number 1. Something you guys commented for a lot on the Break 80 video was how impressed you guys were with my lag putting. And I've said this in other videos, I'm going to say it again. I really appreciate all the nice comments, and you've actually given me quite a lot of confidence in my own putting. And I've realised, yeah, I am good at putting, and I can do it. And that confidence, again, is sports psychology, and it seeps into your game. And you play better because of it, because you believe in yourself. Something I practiced a lot is I checked the data on rough approach distance for myself, for people around my handicap, what sort of putts I'm putting myself in a position of and being like, right, I want a 2 putt from here. And I picked 30 foot. Also because it's about 10 yards, 10 steps, nice round number. So we pop a tee down, we pace out 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We get ourselves another tee, we pop a tee down, and obviously you're doing this on the practice green, so you'll have a bag of balls next to you, and you stand here and you putt from tee to tee. This is a 30 foot putt. You go putting. Do they go about 30 foot? Within reason. Pretty good. Once you start to get a feel for it, you then start playing a game with yourself, and you're not allowed to look at where the ball is going before you've called what is going to happen. So you stand over the ball, I'm going to hit the ball, and before it's down there, I would say in my head to myself when I'm practicing, I'm going to say it out loud to you guys. So I'm going to go short. And we look, and the putt has come up short. Well done, Andy. You've got yourself a point. Obviously, I'd have crap loads of balls on each side. I wouldn't be walking backwards and forwards whilst I'm practicing. And you repeat the process. And you go up to the putt. Long. And it helps you develop a feel for what a 30-foot putt is. That starts to give you a feel in general when you're playing. And you can then just adjust it as you get better at this and just pick random distances. So I could grab a tee and I'm going to stick it here and I'm going to pretend this is a putt. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's about 24 foot. And I'm going to practice this distance. And you can be methodical about it, or you can just use your eyes and go, okay, I want to put it to that tee. That's good. I think that's a good putt. It's a little bit short. I need to adjust my feel. That is drill number 1. And that will help you develop a feel for all sorts of distances of putts. Drill number 2 is super simple. You need the 2 longest irons in your bag and you need 2 tees. Now, this isn't appropriate for everybody because people have different putting styles. Check with your coach. This is very appropriate for me because I'm aiming for straight back, straight through. You put 1 tee in the ground and you rest the club handle or the club grip on that one. You do the same thing, but the opposite way around on the other side. And what you've now got yourself is a free putting gate to practice going back and through with instant feedback. I came inside. Okay, let's adjust my path. Better. Still touched it a little bit, but much better. I didn't knock it off. Pretty good. Do the same with the ball. Obviously as well, set the tolerance of your gates to within reason. You want to make it difficult for yourself, but not impossible. And as you get better, you can make the gates narrower and narrower and narrower. But I just spent hours on the putting green, mostly doing these 2 drills, the gate drill to get a straight back, straight through path, and the feel drill at varying different distances. So there we have it. They are the main things that people don't usually talk about that I learned on my month of training. If you'd be interested in a much more general one, if you're new to golf, let me know in the comment section. And if any of these tips help, please subscribe to the channel, drop a like, it really helps me out. I'm trying to move into golf YouTube and every subscriber helps. Thanks for watching and I'll see you next week for another video.